Welcome back to the YouTube channel, you guys. I'm so excited to share this video. This is going to be the most important video you watch today. If you are tired of the circumstances that you're in, you're tired of holding back on that idea of not being fulfilled in your current line of work, this video is for you. My name is Arius Williams. I help men end self-doubt and design their dream life inside my True Diamond Mindset program. It is A to Z process, and this is going to go over exactly what we teach inside of it. But if you are excited and you want to get a one-on-one spot, book a call below and we will talk directly. So without further ado, let's get right into this thing and start out by saying who I am, right? And so I just told you guys what I do, but I come from humble beginnings, just a kid from Niles, Michigan. I was able to open up my first brick and mortar at the age of 23, getting found out in my first business, which was in the network marketing space. Through that company, I was able to build and train a team that's done over 7 figures in the last 4 years and is a top 10% coach in a $9 billion company. You can see above, this is part of our team back from 2020. You can see in the top right, me training at an event. This is in the pictures, just going through these real quick. This is me at 10X Con. I think it was number 3 in Miami, Florida in the year of 2019. It was an awesome event. Grant Cardone, Steve Harvey, John Maxwell. Really cool. And this is me at Cabo San Lucas, which is a dream of mine. And this is actually goes, if you're in the program, into my vision board. One of the first big things I was able to accomplish on there is being able to stake that picture by those rocks. If you know anything about it, you know how cool it is. I've spent thousands on seminars, just like at the 10X Con, and training and education on business, mindset, and sales. I've trained hundreds of different business owners inside the nutrition business, as well as just through day-to-day life on personal development. And I'm a father soon to be of 3. You cannot see him in there because he's cooking. Now, what's the problem that this video is trying to solve and who this is for, right? This is for people who have a chronic idea that is keeping them up at night. Maybe, and hopefully you've already been successful in some other area. However, you have that internal goal or wish. Maybe it's starting a YouTube channel. Maybe it's starting a side hustle. Maybe it's starting a business that is actually aligned with your passions and actually going to allow you to feel joy and fulfillment other than the work we've been doing. You're starting to experience low energy and depression, honestly, from being stuck in what we call the autopilot syndrome, where you are showing up every day, day by day. Nothing is changing. You're doing the exact same thing every single day, expecting for things to either get better or even worse. You've completely given up on hope and you just assume everything is going to be absolutely the worst. Your energy levels are low. Maybe you're even trying to crank caffeine to fix this, which any of us all know, the more caffeine you drink, the more tired it ends up making you. And really beat down into submission out of the powerful version of yourself that you could be, right? And you've allowed this world to really tell you how to act and behave. Maybe you have children, maybe you have bills that haven't been paid. And so therefore you've made yourself smaller and smaller in every room that you've ever gotten into in order to survive, quote unquote, in the situation you're in now. But now, because of doing that, we're starting to experience these problems and things that we're talking about in this video, right? And definitely, number one, underscore the people who this is for is a chronic people pleaser. And you are the glue in your family. You are always taking care of everybody else. You are always listening to other people's problems. You're always there for everyone. Maybe you legitimately made it into your career and that's what you do, right? But there's nobody for you. Right? These are the people that we need to help. These are the people who are suffering through the autopilot syndrome. These are the people that are one small change. And I'm about to explain the exact change they need to make in order to get out of this, right? The solution is you need to radically change your approach to life. One of my favorite quotes ever is from Jim Rohn, and he says, for things to change, we have to change. For things to get better, we have to get better, right? If I do the same thing every day, then I will receive the same thing every day. It makes sense and it's totally provable in our day-to-day life. We can see, right? If I don't adopt a new perspective, then I may think that this is how things will be forever. So maybe you have lived in this autopilot syndrome, self-hate loop for so long that you now believe that that's the way life should be. And maybe even your family members or the people, your loved ones, the people you know, they also believe this. So they further get into the ideas and reaffirm these beliefs that you have. But you are never going to get to the solution by continuing that. So we need to adopt a new perspective in order to continue to make our world around it. You got to design your dream life. And I know I said how to do it, But a lot of us, it just starts with simply starting. I'm going to ask you right now, do you have written down on a piece of paper your goals in the next 5 years, the life that you would like to live? Is it written down anywhere? Is it on a vision board anywhere? Have you ever put this into the universe other than saying that you want things to be different? If the answer is no, these are simple changes that can dramatically change our results, right? And then the solution other than that is to stay accountable. Because no matter what plan you have, no matter what information you have, if you don't stay accountable, you will not get the result. The information is only one half of the battle. It's showing up and doing the work daily that really changes. So we want to talk about this. A lot of us know that these are the things, but the reason why it's so hard is something that is less known, and that's looking at the formula of change. And when we look at this, we're looking over here on the left side, and we have our thoughts over the actions, the X over X, right? And this is always going to be true because no matter what I go to do, I have to think about doing it first. I have to have emotions, feelings, thoughts that lead me to taking action. And the X over X represents the negative actions and negative thought processes and where we're at right now. We are in our stuck autopilot syndrome mindset, and therefore we take actions every day that reaffirm that thought process and continue to feed back the loop of results, and we continue to go down the cycle over and over and over again. And the Y over Y on the other side of this big rectangle here, that represents the dream life that we're going to design. That represents knowing exactly what we want to be going on upstairs and thinking clearly in sound mind and being able to have our actions be in line with that and come into reality. And the hard part is the middle, where there's a Y over the top and the X over the bottom. And maybe that's you. Maybe you already know what it is. And as you're starting to take in new information, we call this informed pessimism. You're starting to understand the right thoughts. You have realized your perspective needs to change. You have understood that you have to do something different or you'll continue to get the same results. But the actions haven't clicked yet because of the rectangle, which is called fear. And this just isn't plain fear, just, oh, I'm scared. No, this is the fear of failure, the fear of uncertainty, and the fear of isolation. And the fear of failure, what if I go to try to do this new thing, I try to design this dream life, and I fail, and I don't make it? This is a huge fear. It will paralyze you into taking action on your life. It will prevent the solution from coming to fruition. The fear of uncertainty. I don't know what will happen. A lot of the times, even when we are in negative situations and negative circumstance in our X over X, we still are 100% aware of what that will bring. If I eat a bad food every single day, I know what it tastes like. But even though I know that healthy food is my Y over Y goal, I cannot get through the fear of uncertainty of what if I don't like this food? What if it doesn't taste good? What if I'm hungry in an hour, right? These are common fears. And then the biggest one that a lot of us face, especially men, is the fear of isolation, that you're the only person going through what you're going through. You're the only person in the world trying to get through fear to get to the Y over Y. These are fallacies. They're not true, and they will beat you down. And as we look at the graph, the closer we get to reaching our goals in any area of life, the increasing levels of fear come with that. They go in scales, okay? And what happens a lot is the infinite circle of broken promises. We get to a fear that even though we may start, okay, I'm going to start a new business, right? I'm going to start to figure things out. I'm starting to go to the planning. Maybe I take an SBA meeting, and then boom, something comes on, and all of a sudden the fear of failure, the fear of isolation, the fear of uncertainty, they all start banging me up. And then because I'm scared and I start to obsess over this, I take actions that reaffirm those feelings. And then my outside reality starts to give me other reasons as to why I'm doing is the wrong thing, right? And then what do? We run back. We take the loop and we head right on back to where we came from. And the truth is, it feels good when you give up because the fear is subsiding. A lot of the times they'll be replaced with feelings of lack of self-worth, of self-loathing. But in the intermediate, in the beginning, when we first give up, when we first quit on our new goal, it feels good. And this is where it's hard to continuously go through this, because for a lot of us, We have gone through this loop 1,000 times with many different promises, with many different situations, many different businesses, maybe even. We have tried and tried. We get somewhere. The fear hits us around. We run back to the beginning. We try, fear gets somewhere. We run back to the beginning. It is a never-ending cycle. But if you are ready to end the cycle, I want you to understand that I want us to practice a little exercise right now. I want everybody on the count of 3 to say the word apple without saying it out loud. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That voice is the sole proprietor and the determining factor whether fear wins or doesn't. If you allow this voice to be dominated by the voices of fear that we just spoke about, and you continuously feed into those, and you continuously put in stimulus that are going to help that voice quicker get to fear, you will continue on this process. But as we start to put in more why over why thoughts, as we start to have that vision, our Apple voice begins to overwrite and say more positive things. So this is the solution pulled out, right? We're having a vision. So in essence, having a clear why over why is the way to get over X over X. And I know that sounds like algebra, but a lot of us don't even have a goal. We just are hoping things will get better. This vision needs to be in 4K clarity. So that way you can experience it with your 5 senses now before you get there. Your heart starts to beat thinking about the version of you who has made it, the version of you who's all the way back in your personal power, the version of you who is no longer plagued by self-doubt and is living your designed life and is feeling fulfillment and is out here making an impact, right? You're overriding the Apple voice to begin to say more positive things. This is what having a vision will do. Second, in order to get through the wall, we need to make an actionable plan that focuses on stacking wins and small wins so that way we build momentum and not an overnight success change. Because when we try to suddenly become a completely different person tomorrow, without properly stacking, without properly making our habits line up, we're not building any momentum and we're throwing ourselves into the deep end of those fears. And sure, a small percentage of the population can just thug it out, as we say, through those fears. But taking steps that are proven inputs to where we want to go is a way to not obsess over the outcome. What I mean by that is if your goal is to become rich, instead of focusing on a certain dollar sign amount that you need inside your bank account, focus on doing the habits of a person who would have that much money, right? And then having daily accountability to make sure you're actually following through. This is how we get through. And at the end, well, a lot of people say, well, what do you mean there needs to be something at the end? That means I thought that was my why over why. I thought that was when I was perfect. That's correct. But we have to make sure we keep it. And in order to keep the success that we find, we have to shift our entire identity to be aligned with the goals that we now have. And so that way our actions are aligned with the goals. That way our thoughts are aligned with the goals. And the easiest way to do that is to join a like-minded community that has the same task, that has the same mission. It is so hard to be isolated and to fall off when you have a group behind you, pushing you in order to stay accountable and stay focused. And then taking progress pictures and journaling. And progress pictures doesn't just apply to weight loss and healthy lifestyle goals. It applies to business. It applies to any type of situation in which you can document your journey. This is how we fix it. So I'll leave you with this. Let's get to work, right? Let's make 2024 a different year. You have 2 options right here at the end of this video. You can A, take everything I just talked about and apply the vague principles and move it into your life, begin to design your dream life, begin to move forward, begin to walk towards your goals. And that will work. It is the slower method, but it will work. If you want to streamline how to end self-doubt, end procrastination, design your dream life, and have an actionable plan to get there, book a call below. I will talk to you one-on-one. We will show you the inner workings of how the True Diamond Mindset program works, and you can make a decision at the end of that. I appreciate you.